Sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com, how adults can get tested for autism. Self-exams and online evaluations are available for adults to get tested for autism, but a diagnosis of adult autism can only be made by a qualified healthcare professional, such as a psychiatrist or psychologist. /r/n/r/n While most people are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, ASD as children, traits of adult autism are being identified later in life as the condition is better understood. In some cases, the communication difficulties and behaviors previously mistaken for other disorders are recognized as autism traits. /r/n/r/n Adults diagnosed with autism are likely to /r/n/r/n with these traits. It's possible to be an autistic adult with low support needs and not know it. Some people may only suspect autism in themselves after an autistic child is diagnosed, and they notice similarities between their child's traits, behaviors, or feelings, and their own patterns. /r/n/r/n Symptoms of an anxiety disorder often coexist in autistic people. This is especially common in autistic females, whose autism traits may be overlooked or misdiagnosed for a long time. /r/n/r/n Self-screening tools for ASD questionnaires you can take yourself. Most are available online at no cost. They can't confirm an autism diagnosis, but they can help you decide if you should see a professional to be formally evaluated. These tests include /r/n/r/n Examples of online test questions include /r/n/r/n Professional autism tests are required for adults to receive an autism diagnosis. Medical professionals trained to identify masking behaviors are best equipped to assess adults. If you notice traits that could be autism-related, contact a professional for an autism test. /r/n/r/n These tests can include the following. /r/n/r/n Aspergers syndrome was once considered a separate autism-like disorder. However, in 2013, it was folded under the umbrella diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, ASD, in the DSM-5. Today, what was once called Aspergers is often called autism with low support needs. /r/n/r/n The traits include /r/n/r/n In adults, autism can look a lot like other developmental or psychiatric disorders. These often need to be ruled out through the differential diagnosis process. For example, autism can most easily be mistaken for social communication disorder, SCD. People with SCD struggle with using words and language that match the social context and conversation. /r/n/r/n Research has also found it's not uncommon for someone to have a co-occurring psychiatric disorder along with ASD. For example, a 2019 meta-analysis found that among autistic adults with another diagnosis, /r/n/r/n a healthcare provider may consider various additional tests and evaluations depending on what other disorders they suspect. /r/n/r/n The American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, calls for autism screenings at 18 months and 24 months of age. Many pediatricians begin observing children during well-care visits to ensure they meet developmental milestones. The screening tool for autism in toddlers and young children, STAT, is a common evaluation tool. /r/n/r/n For some people, going through the process of getting an adult autism diagnosis can be stressful. Getting support during this time and after diagnosis may help. /r/n/r/n Consider finding resources online offered by the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, the Autism Research Institute, or other organizations. /r/n/r/n Connecting with autistic people in your local community may help you feel less alone and empower you to be your own advocate, speaking up for yourself and your needs. /r/n/r/n Diagnosing autism in adults can be tricky. People who weren't diagnosed as children are likely to have mild autism traits that they've unknowingly learned to cover up or manage. /r/n/r/n. That said, there are plenty of autism traits and behaviors a person may be aware of, such as trouble navigating social interactions and extra sensitivity to smells or touch. /r/n/r/n. People who suspect they may have an autism spectrum disorder can screen themselves using free questionnaires found on the internet. But to get an actual autism diagnosis, it's necessary to see a mental health professional. /r/n/r/n, rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 80% on prescription drugs.